I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which this episode is being recorded and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples today. Welcome to Can I Get a Refill, the podcast that offers a nurturing and inspirational space for honest and open discussions around career aspirations, wealth creation, motherhood, healthy relationships with others and the self, as well as an emphasis on physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. Join us for light-hearted, authentic chats with like-minded women, as well as more in-depth discussions with industry professionals to support your ambitions and heal old wounds, as we empower you to regularly fill up your own cup. I'm your host, Steph Bruno-Newton, singer, writer, recovering people pleaser, first-time podcast host, and soon-to-be first-time mum. Thank you for pressing play today, and now let's get into the episode. Turns out we had so much to discuss on the topic of red and green flags in romantic relationships that the chat got way too long for one episode. I've split the episode into two. In this episode, you'll hear all about those beautiful green flags to make note of. And if you missed our previous episode covering the red flags, be sure to skip back to catch up. Enjoy the episode. Talk about
green flags now.
Why don't you start with the green flags?
I think if your partner is thanking your efforts, thank you so much for everything you've done, or just that you were there and that you're like their right hand man. Even when people are winning awards or they won a competition and they just ignore, it's so
I cry when I watch Oscar speeches and they thank,
I know, because you can imagine the time, even tennis, Djokovic, you can imagine the time and effort that and being an athlete is so selfish because it's all about
sacrifice.
you.
The partner sacrifices.
Yeah, so much.
Yeah. And you can feel so burnt out the second you get recognition for your efforts. And this goes for anything with work. So I feel like you got to get to know your employees and how do they work. I'll admit I love a pat on the back. Mm-hmm. I need it because I will feel drained if no one says, hey, Steph, you did a great job. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
That'll make me work harder.
Of course.
Yeah, but especially in a relationship, it's really nice when you do that. Having said that, I got a bit of a caveat to that because I stopped thanking Alan for doing any housework. And one of the girls at work was like, oh, it's really nice because I like it when he thanks me. Thanks for hanging out that laundry. I actually don't do that at all. I made a point years ago in my feminist journey of why would I thank him? And Alan wouldn't say to me, oh, thanks for unloading the dishwasher. We only just got the dishwasher, by the way. We were hand washing for years. It's such a great life upskill. But when he I will never say thank you for doing that because I'm like, why should he be thanked for doing something in the home that he shares with me?
Exactly.
He's not doing me a personal favour. So if he goes and picks something up for me from Chemist Warehouse, I will thank him for picking that up. That didn't benefit him at all. He did that for me. Housework, no, I don't think.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because it's we both live here.
Yeah. But I think that's a female-male thing. I think we grew up with it was so weird, for a man to do housework.
I get a bit weird like that. If I would be more than happy, I would do so much for someone and I would pick up if they ask me something, I'd pick it up. But when someone does it for me, I get really awkward about it, really uncomfortable.
Me too.
It's weird.
Do you know what though?
It's I feel oh my God, I can't believe you've gone and got me an apple. It's it's really
no, but
deep.
that's what I would call an apologetic personality. And the people that are oh, sorry, when they're in the way, I'm always apologizing. But also the people that feel guilty when you receive a gift. So I always say, if you say at work, I'll say to one of the girls, you look nice today. Oh, but do this. And I'm like, just say thank you.
Yeah.
I've paid you the compliment.
Yeah.
So I have done that for years and I'll catch myself and be like, thank you.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, yes, I do think I look good today.
Yeah,
there is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. But yeah, I definitely do that.
Yeah. It's weird.
What's your next green?
When they're encouraging of your goals or your creative outlets, anything like that they want you to do it and they're encouraging that this will be good. Let's try it. If it doesn't work,
so important.
Let's just give it a go.
It's so important for the person you share your life with to be your biggest cheerleader.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like to do that. Alan and I do that a lot with each other.
And then if they're interested in things that you're interested in, even if it's you got super into like whale sharks and they're just like loving the facts you're giving.
This is really important. So when Alan and I got together, I think he and his ex had a really great relationship. I think they were friends. I mean, they were together from teens, I think.
Yeah.
But he said he broke up with her, I believe, and he's like, it got to a place where she was an artist, he's a footy player. He had no interest in her art. She had zero interest in footy. And he's like, I don't think we're bringing anything to it. I don't think I can add to your life, and I don't think you can add to mine. Yeah. So when Alan and I met, you want to know how we met? I was at the gym. He was a PT, but I've never had a PT because I don't like being told what to do. I told you I feel threatened when my independence comes under question. But we actually knew each other for like 3 months, I think, before we exchanged numbers. And I remember going in, I didn't have Foxtel when I lived at my parents' house, and I'm a really big NRL fan. I followed the Dragons, and they were playing a Monday night against Souths, and I didn't have the game, and I'm like, you know what, I only train in the gym in the morning, and I was like, I'm just going to go to the gym. It was like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I was like, I'm just going to use the treadmill so I can watch the thing. And I got there and I screamed at him, put it on Fox Sports, and he like ran, and that's when he was like, oh, this girl likes footy. And I remember him, the gym was empty, and he sat, my team lost. And then he sat on the end of the treadmill with me, and like we were chatting. And then after that, I can still picture him running towards me in the gym on my morning workouts to show me photos of him in his little footy gear. And I went and showed my gay friend at work, and he would zoom in on his, Alan's got nice big developed quads, and he'd zoom in till he's like, nice legs. But like, he loved that I was interested in something that he was passionate about.
Yeah.
So
it's important.
I think it's so important. So I stopped. I didn't have a lot of singing gigs when we first started going out. I would spend every Saturday sitting on the side watching him play footy, and I loved it. Yeah. For years, I loved it, and I miss it. He's retired now, and I do miss it. He was a very good player. Yeah. And it was enjoyable. But then for 6 months, no social life. I mean, it was winter, it's fine. But like, he can't really go out Friday night because he's playing on the Saturday. His body would be just like banged up because he played real physical on Saturday. And then Sunday he wouldn't really go out and do much because his body was recovering. And I was like, whoa, for 6 months, I've got no social life. So when he stopped, and then I started getting singing gigs, and he started coming to my gigs, I'm like, I like this much better. Yeah. I love supporting him. I'll admit. Yeah. I like being the star, and I liked, and then one gig I had not long ago, he secretly texted his brother-in-law, and his brother-in-law and the girlfriend and all the nephews showed up. Do you know how teary I got watching my teenage nephews walk in to support me? Like, that was so very special. So I really like that.
Okay, what green flags do you have?
When they just get you. This is the opposite to the Liam Hemsworth and Miley Cyrus thing. In that gym, when Alan and I met, we were dating then, and he was doing he would take, a possible new member on a tour of the gym. Yeah. I would have finished my workouts and go into this little stretch room and use the foam roller, like going back and forth, and sing like loud Lady Gaga on my headphones. Yeah. And I was doing a lot of singing gigs back then too. Yeah. And then this guy was like, what's that about? And Alan goes, oh, that's just Steph. She's just doing her thing. And I remember thinking, he gets me. It's stuck in my head to this day, because he never went, oh, can you keep it down? Like, this is a place of business.
This is where I work.
He has never, ever tried to change one, and I said this prior, one aspect of me. He just, that's Steph. Yeah. I love that.
So nice.
I love that. Yeah. Like that, I think that's when you know you've found your person.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, when you're not embarrassed with them or anything like that.
You're encouraging
when they get, we were sort of discussed this in the red flags, but when they get along with your friends and your family. So I've never had an ex where there was no issues with my family or friends, right? Some have gotten along, but some, they're all very concerned or they wouldn't meet my friends at all. Yeah. A few weeks ago, a couple of months ago, was one of my first like best friends' big birthday parties, was his 40th while I've been pregnant. Yeah. And I was like, oh, I hate missing out on things. Yeah. But I had fun. We sort of did lawn bowls and then I said, I'll go home. And I was like, Alan, like my friends love him. And half male, half female. Yeah. They adore Alan. Yeah. They think he's so great. He just gets on so well with them. Yeah. And then he's so generous, always buying everyone drinks. But I think he's trying to like put it a good impression. He doesn't need to. They love him. I said, why don't you stay and party on? You're having fun. Yeah. And he stayed till like midnight or something. I left like early evening. Nice. How good that made me feel. Yeah. I said, he can represent me. I'm going to go home. And I said I was going to come back, but I pick him up. I totally fell asleep on the couch. Yeah. He Ubered back. But that made me feel so good that he slips in my group of friends when I'm not even there. That made me feel really happy.
I had one of my friends for my birthday on Sunday. We had like a kind of like a lunch thing. and one of my friends' partners came, and I know him quite well. Like, we've become friendly through her, obviously.
Yeah.
And I saw her a couple of days ago, and she left it, and he said, like, I just love Honor. I feel like we get along so well. I feel like we just get it. I feel like she's one of my best friends.
Some people just click.
And I was like,
how good
that is
for
so
you
nice.
and for her to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like.
But you're like Alan. I'm like, who wouldn't get along with you? No, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got a lovely personality and you're very present in conversations. And I feel like people can love me, but people can hate me. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's more of
the people who love you, which is what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like truffles or something. Something like or caviar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, some people love it and some people really hate it. There's no medium.
Exactly.
But that's so nice.
I know. It was so sweet to hear. I was like, oh, that's so kind.
But on your side of it, how good do you feel when your friends date people you like?
I know.
Oh my God. It's so
you don't
important.
feel like, oh my God, if they leave the room, who am I going to talk about?
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
it makes me really happy. I love all Alan's friends too. At first I was the insecure girl, like trying to fit in, and I used to get so drunk it was embarrassing. But now I just love them. Like, I felt like they're a real clique though.
Yeah.
And it took a long time to slip in, whereas my friends more like welcomed Alan in straight away.
Yeah.
But I love Alan's friends. I think they're wonderful. When they show up for you, and why this is more important than expensive gifts and dinners, I think like emotionally showing up.
Yeah.
Don't you think? And that probably goes hand in hand with the supporting your career
exactly.
and your goals and stuff. Now, this is sort of the antidote to the red flag, but that good communication, hearing your needs, eye contact, being present in the conversation, taking your feelings on board if something's not working, and then sort of tweaking it to make it work. Yeah. Just feeling heard.
Exactly.
So important.
Open communication is so important.
In any relationship, like
For sure.
you think of even workplaces, it doesn't work if you're not feeling heard. Oh, one of the girls at work brought this up the other day. Have you ever done she said when they make the effort to get to know your love language.
Oh, yeah, I've never done that.
I've never done it.
Yeah.
And it seems like something I would totally do. I think
it does seem like something you do.
I have to do it. I just haven't gotten around to it. I've got a book about personality tests.
Yeah.
But I think I know the premise of it because I hear people talk about it. I think it's like gifts of service, acts of service.
Yeah, words of affirmation, like acts of service, gift giving, physical touch.
Yeah, a nephew said to me, "I need physical touch," because I'm really touchy like with Alan. But I think took Alan a while to get into that.
Acts of service.
I was going to say that first.
Yeah.
Even more than physical touch, I think acts of service.
Probably words of affirmation.
I love that. Yeah, you know what?
Probably.
Yeah, because even in the workplace, I need that.
And then, well, I don't know what your maybe physical touch, but I don't know.
I like them all.
Yeah. Well, I think everyone wants all
I think
of
I need them
but
all.
I feel like gifts giving wouldn't be that big of a deal for you.
Never.
And what's the other one?
Never. I don't know.
There might be a fifth.
I'm going to look them up. Let's do an episode on that. I think that's really important.
Yeah.
I want to know more about it. I think it's really good. But someone, taking that time to know that about you.
Yeah.
I think that's lovely.
Yeah.
Alan's is definitely, he likes the gift giving,
Gifts.
I think.
Affirmations?
No. Anything around conversation communication comes very hard to him because of the home and the footy culture he's grown up in.
Yeah.
Physical touch, actually, we are so touchy now, but I think he would never touch anyone else. He doesn't hug his family. Now, I come from an Italian family where the men kiss on the cheek.
Yeah.
That's so foreign to him. Do you know what I mean? So I love physical touch. Yeah. But more so with romantic partner. I cannot be touchy when I just meet people. I can actually shut down a little bit. But let's do another episode on that. I want to read up because I feel like I can't talk about it until I know more about it. Okay, this one's really important now. A girl at work brought this up. When they defend you, we didn't talk about that thing of red flags. Let's go. Well, let's relate it to this. When they defend you in your social group or with their family and friends. Now, many people aren't good with confrontation and they shut down. So there was a girl at work that brought it up the other day and I went, oh my God, that is so relevant to me. Now, Alan and I have very few arguments, but if we have, they're centered around this because I'm like a lioness with her cubs. If there's been any issue where anyone in the work, because we both used to work for a company that really shocked us, and I am so defensive of Alan, like a lioness with the cubs. I'm so protective of him.
Yeah.
No one says anything bad about him because he's so lovely. But if anyone did, and even when I've had bad partners, you better not talk shit to me about my partner unless you genuine concern.
Yeah.
I really arc up and defend my loved ones.
Yeah.
Alan doesn't do that. Now, in some respect, what was your red flag related to this?
It was like when they feel like they have to arc up for you consistently, and I think it was a bit more like of a violent side, if they're like a bit violent and they feel like they need to like, oh, what, like you're talking to my girl, where it's like,
now I think that's toxic masculinity,
yeah,
and they're trying to, you know, it's all bravado of, oh, I'm the man,
exactly.
But verbally, I think when people are not treating you well, if your partner says, hey now, that's not fair, I think you feel really special.
Yeah, I think so.
And I get on really well with Alan's family that we see now. So like parents, brother-in-law, all the nephews, but he has some sisters that we haven't spoken to in years. They decided when they met me that they didn't want to like me, some of them, because I think they were close with his ex. One I met and I'm like, hi, I'm Steph. She grunted. She went, how am I going to win?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's not worth
we
trying.
tried. I was at a real low point.
Yeah.
I ended up removing myself. So Alan will come home and be like, oh, that's bullshit. And I'm like, but why don't
you say
it
then?
in the moment?
Yeah.
So I feel like Alan hates confrontation. Verbal. He would 100, and he's always like, oh, some guy did something once and I pushed him. I'm like, yeah, I know you're big and muscly and you'd love a fight. I get it. Doesn't hunt it, but would love it. But I go, I don't really need that.
No.
I don't.
It's even if like
doesn't
in
come up
friendships,
often.
Yeah. Someone just, you back up your friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, girls always back their friends
Yeah.
up. Why do we always do it for each other?
Yeah.
There are a lot of guys, and this is what the girl at work was saying. She's like me, a tad more aggressive in the relationship. And he said to her, well, you go from like 0 to 100, so I can't. And Alan's said that about me once.
Yeah.
And I think they're not great with confrontation, so they shut down.
Yeah.
So Alan is not good with it.
I think also when it's like their family, they're in such an...
With my family.
Oh.
He's like, I'm not... He'll come home and be like, yeah, that was really unfair what they said to you. And I'm like, can't you say... He's like, it's not my family. It's not my place to say. I actually disagree. If Alan's family would say anything about him...
I would feel like that too.
I would step in and go, well, that's not fair. But I'm so not afraid of my words.
I'd be like, that's yours.
I reckon you would.
Yeah, and that's as much.
I reckon you would.
Yeah.
So am I applying my strengths to someone else and expecting them to have the same values?
Yeah.
But it would be nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you feel that you're being disadvantaged, I feel like a lot of the time in my life, it's really only been me who's had my back. And sometimes, and I remember saying that to a therapist and he goes, well, that can't feel good. And I go, no, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But then on the other respect, I love that he knows I can take care of myself and like, she's got this. So I love that he has faith in me, but
just be a little bit more sometimes.
When it's a pattern, when someone's picking on you in a pattern, it would be nice if someone...
I get that.
But some people aren't good with confrontation at all.
Yeah, some people just shut down or they just avoid it at any cost.
Yeah. So I'm just... You know how I was talking about like how I used to be scared of things in my 20s and all that, but I would do things. But you know what I love about this age? I am not afraid to say anything. You know when I noticed it changed? You know, like when you're in a circle of people and there might be people you've just met and you don't get a joke? I used to laugh and go, and now I go, I don't get it. Can you explain that? And the second I started doing that, I'm like, now I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
So I'll be nervous in any new situation, which is like the last episode we were talking about, but I'm no longer in any way afraid to use my words. And there's a girl at work that always says to me, she's 31 or something, she's like, oh, I wish I could be like that. And I was like, I wasn't necessarily like that at your age. I started learning it at your age. But like at work, like the CEO, I love her. We get on so good. But like she said something once like about making a smoothie. I can't even remember it. She's like, I said I didn't want to bring it in because you were in a meeting in front of all other people. And I said I didn't want to look like an ass kiss. And she goes, oh, you are an ass kiss or something, as a joke. Yeah. You know how humans. Yeah. And I was like, and then the next day she wanted a smoothie. I was like, nah, I ain't making you a smoothie. This is the CEO.
Yeah.
I could lose my job or have a pay cut. And I was like, not after you said that. I go, you can make your own smoothie. And the other girl was like, oh, I wish I could say that.
Yeah.
I love at this age, I will say anything to anyone. I don't pick on people. No. I'm not rude. But if I feel that any sort of treatment of me is unjust or unfair, you best believe
I'll say something.
I'm speaking up. Yeah. But I also speak for other people.
Yeah,
like I saw this older couple being racist to these people on the train. And I was standing up ready and fully attacked. Yeah. But I was a little shaky when I was saying it. These 3 people next to me applauded me. I don't want to be like a white savior about it, but
yeah,
it was really bad.
Yeah.
So I left and I felt really good about myself. Like, 'cause I was shaken because I don't like confrontation.
I can just imagine you as a mum and just being like,
oh my God,
these are
my people.
Get away from my children.
Imagine
they get bullied or something. You would just storm into the
But you know what? I hope I'm not. Because I reckon if I'm like that, how are they going to develop their own backbone? I hope they can come home and, tell me. Yeah, and I can sit back and let them do it themselves. But I think anyone is protective of their kids.
Oh,
that stuff.
for sure.
Yeah, I have one like that. So that one's really important. But then I think you've also got to understand that other people aren't as good as you with confrontation. So I've got to understand that. But
yeah, for sure.
It would be very nice.
But I would still like it.
Exactly. All right. We had so much material for that. I knew this one would be long.
Yeah, so good.
We'll leave it for there, but I think we've got plenty more to talk about we can do friendships, we can talk about workplaces and families. So lots of flags out there. But it's really, conversations are really important. And while a lot of that was light, a lot of it was really serious. And, if you're struggling in a relationship that you feel at all threatened or violent, talk to your loved ones. Or if you don't feel safe, there's plenty of hotlines you can call, and I've put them in the show notes. So I hope that, everyone puts themselves first. Really and if there's any red flags or if there's anything that's going on that you feel super, super unsafe or unhappy, I think you've got to stand up for yourself and say, and if it continues, consider walking. So and I'll just ask you before we end, is there anything you're doing this week to fill up your cup?
I'm actually going up to Boomerang Beach, which is near Lake Louise Beach.
Oh, beautiful.
It's like 3 and a bit hours away.
For those who don't know, Honor is always at the beach. Every Insta story, I'm like, fuck, are you at the beach again?
I know. I'm actually getting a bit sick of it. I never thought I'd do it day, but then it'll be winter and I'll just...
the most tanned person. When Jess and I first met you in that interview, I was like, oh, no, that's fake tan for sure. That is your colour.
Yeah.
I'm Italian and I put Bondi Sands on every week. You are so tan.
I know. It's weird. So mum goes the same tan as well and she's English.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? Do you know, but most of my Sicilian family, so Sicilians are dark and then Northern Italians are light. Mm-hmm. My dad, because he was super, super dark, and my nonna, super, super dark. Yeah. But my nonno, my grandfather, was redhead with freckles.
Really?
And I really think my brother and I got his colouring because even my Aussie family can go really brown.
Yeah.
So I feel like I got the temper and the moustache, but
nothing else. What?
I didn't get the tan skin. I was ripped.
But yeah, so my sister and I are going up to Boomerang Beach for the week.
Oh, how lovely.
Which would be so nice. Just going to chill, lots of Lido stuff and just get out of the city, which would be so nice. I'm really
how refreshing. Because you're starting a new job soon, right? So this will be a nice, good refresher before you go into it. Oh, that's wonderful.
What are you going to do?
Do you know what? I always, every morning, wake up and do like a 15-minute meditation, but I've had a really, really busy work week. Mm-hmm. And there have been some mornings where I haven't exercised or meditated, opened the laptop. This is so not like me. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, I opened the laptop at 8 a.m. and I stayed at that laptop in my pajamas till 5 p.m. And I felt like shit at the end of it. So I need to get a little bit stricter with the boundaries. Yeah. That was a particularly busy week. That's all. It's sporadic, but I'm really upping the Steph time next week and just doing even like a slightly earlier wake up because I love my morning routine and really
sets you up.
Yeah, doing the meditation. I'm going to do it lying on the floor with my feet elevated because I'm getting that pregnancy swell.
Yeah.
Something severe. Because you sit there on that jet, on my laptop, my feet are dangling, so I feel like it's all going
all
downwards.
The blood's rushing down.
It's not fun. Okay. Thank you so much for listening, Honor. Thank you for being here. And I hope everyone takes some time to fill up their cup this week. There is no resource more valuable than time, and I thank you for spending your time with us today. Your voice is so important to us, and we would love to hear which topics you would like discussed in future episodes. Please reach out via Instagram at Can I Get a Refill Podcast or in our private Facebook group to let us know. If you enjoyed this or previous episodes, we would be so grateful if you could please subscribe, rate, and review to help our voices continue to be heard. Catch you in the next episode.